You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
We are going to go over everything that's happened over the past week. So many things have taken place. I want to share that with you today, give you a little bit about some research that I've been reviewing, that I've been going over, kind of recap the podcast from this previous week. A lot of people have had questions on them. I want to make sure that I'm able to get you those answers, and then talk about our super nutrient of the week. So without further ado, let's get right into the show. The first things first, since we've gotten so many questions on this, it is official. CBD oil is back. Equilibrium Nutrition is able to finally offer our highest quality CBD oil after 5 months of being banned. I spoke about it a little bit last week. It literally came by surprise since we were on our 12th payment processor, seeing if they would give us the ability to allow us to essentially just take orders for CBD oil online. That's it. That's all we wanted to do. But the problem was we've been literally banned for 5 months. We don't know why. We were never given a reason why when hundreds of thousands of other companies were allowed to sell it. We were once able to sell it. We became one of the largest distributors over 2 years ago before anybody was even really talking about CBD. And I had done many, many podcasts and many shows on the benefits of CBD, of this plant-based medicine, and how it can help people. So it was either from me speaking about the benefits of how it was helping, of how pharmaceutical agencies are trying to take it away from regular vendors such as ourselves, buy up all the crop, which they've done with hundreds of millions of dollars of investments, taking away some of the farms that we worked with. Or it was me, again, just going about saying, hey, here's the research. There's over 1,000 clinical studies that have been published showing that it's helping with autism and epilepsy and ADD and ADHD and anxiety, and it's helping with insomnia, and it's helping with pain and fatigue and inflammation of the body, digestive-based issues. So again, I don't know it was because of the information I was trying to get out to people, or it's because we were offering people, and still are, the highest quality CBD product on the market. It's 25 milligrams of cannabinoids per serving. And you can buy that in a 250 milligram bottle or a 750 milligram bottle. The size of the bottle doesn't matter. What matters is the dosage. And we're offering the full spectrum CBD, and it's organically grown. So to my knowledge, there's no one else out there doing that high a potency, and that's also why it works, because the studies don't use 5 milligrams. They use 25, 50, or more milligrams to get these results that people want. So a lot of people aren't getting results with CBD because they're using an inferior product that isn't full spectrum or that's very low in cannabinoids. Now, cannabinoids are the natural plant-based medicine that we're trying to get into our body. Remember, we are one of the only companies that posts our certificate of analysis showing that it is third-party tested, that there's no bacterial overgrowth contaminants, that there's no heavy metals, and that it's below 0.3 THC, which makes it legal in all 50 states in the U.S. Unfortunately, legally, we don't know if we can ship it out of the U.S. yet. So unfortunately, we're not able to ship it out of the U.S. But I just wanted to let you know it's back. It's finally back. We just had a fresh shipment come in. And along with that, and I've been working on this for almost a year, we have our CBD coffee. So CBD coffee, I explained a little earlier in the week, but this is an item that I wanted to be able to be one of the first ones, if not the first one to produce. And what it is it's coffee beans, organic coffee beans, infused, basically soaked coffee beans in CBD oil. So why would I do that? Why would I want to do that? Well, here's why. There's a lot of people that want to get the antioxidant, the anti-aging benefits of the antioxidants in coffee beans, but they don't want the jitteriness. They don't want a lot of the increased heart rate or stress in their body that comes along with coffee on the nervous system stress. So we created a caffeinated version and a decaf version. The caffeinated version is a 1 pound bag from single source organic Peruvian beans. And the decaf is a single source organic Mexican bean. Both of them are medium roast. Both come in 1 pound bags, and both come with 500 milligrams, a full 500 milligram bottle of CBD oil added into that bag, which means it's soaked into the beans, so that when you drink the CBD coffee, you actually get the CBD into your body and bloodstream faster, because caffeine is a tremendous delivery source, delivery vehicle right into the body. So it's something that I've used myself. I've used it now for, close to a year, and thoroughly enjoy the taste, of course, of the bean itself, but the effect that it gives. So huge fan, wanted to bring it to you. We don't do a lot of those bags. This is initial first run. I don't know if there's any left as of today, Friday, on the podcast, but you can certainly go to stevencabral.com/CBD-store. Now, I know it's not on equilibriumnutrition.com yet, and that's because, and I just want to explain this, then we're going to move on, is that we, as part of our deal, we're not allowed to sell CBD oil on equilibriumnutrition.com. Now, again, don't ask me why, but we weren't in a position to negotiate. It was either take it or leave it. So it's back on a separate website all by itself. The CBD is not mixing with the other supplements. So it's stevencabral.com/CBD-store. I do hope in the future everything will be back on equilibriumnutrition.com. But for now, you can still get the products. And honestly, I'm just grateful to be able to get those products back to people. So many people have decided to take advantage of those offers. And I hope that you are absolutely enjoying your product. And just like we enjoy it ourselves in our private practice here in Boston. So thank you so much for your support and patience over the last 5 months, because it has been extremely frustrating, to say the least. But now that we're back able to offer the CBD, I want to be able to also bring you now more information on CBD oil and the CBD cannabinoid benefits. The reason I stopped talking about it for quite some time is because that was one of the reasons why I did not believe that we were able to continue selling it. So if I wanted to sell it again one day, I had to play their game, because I don't own the game. So now that we're back, I'm hoping to be able to bring you, without getting shut down again, the information that you need on the truth about cannabinoids and what the pros are, what the cons are, who gets the most benefit, etc. So on all the product pages, you'll find that information. Just go to stevencabral.com/CBD-store. Okay, one last thing before we get to our research. We are doing, this is the last weekend, a gift card giveaway on all purchases at equilibriumnutrition.com. It doesn't apply to the CBD store, but it does at equilibriumnutrition.com for all 70 items over there. If you spend $100, you get $10. If you spend $200, you get $20 in a gift card. If you spend $300, you get $30 in a gift card. And that gift card can be used for later use, or it's a digital gift card, an e-gift card. You can actually send that gift card to a loved one as well, your choice. You simply send them the code that you get emailed to you the day after you make your purchase. Okay, up next, I wanted to share with you, each week I want to give you some of my favorite picks for podcast interviews or other interviews I've been on. And this one was more unique, so I wanted to share that with you. And this was called the EMF Health Summit. And it brought together some of the leading people in the space. And that is going through December 9th through the 15th. Today is the 14th, I believe, so you can still sign up for that. And I don't know if there's a cost to it. I apologize. I don't believe that there is from the 9th through the 15th. Yes, you can just register now from December 9th through the 15th. So I'm going to link that up in the show notes. But if you're not able to get to it in the show notes, you can go to emfhealthsummit.com. And what I spoke about, but there's so many other great people that you most likely heard before on this specific one, and that's Dr. McCuller's on there that you will probably know. Oh, Dr. Gittleman is on there, and Louise. Let's see, I believe Dr. O'Brien's on there. So we've got a lot of great people on the EMF Summit. I did not run it, but I can absolutely assure you that there's just some great, great content. So that's EMF Health Summit. You can check it out if you're interested in learning more about EMFs and the harm that they are causing. So I will link that up in the show notes. I know my specific seminar on that, I gave about a half-hour talk, went through the details of how I try to EMF-proof my house. I've talked a little bit about that on the podcast. You'll go more in depth with the EMF Health Summit. Okay, up next, I want to bring you a little bit of research. This was interesting to me, and of course, I think it's pretty timely for this time of the season, but it says, do not give cough and cold medicine to children under 4, even if the products are labeled as being for children. More than 40% of parents say that they give their children under 4 cough medicine or multi-symptom cough and cold medicine. But these medicines do not reduce the time of infection. They can cause serious side effects in young children, including uneven heart rate, which is much more severe than it sounds. It's basically a dysrhythmia of the cardiac function of the heart, including sleep problems, confusion, hallucinations, nausea, and constipation. Products marketed as being for children, labeled since 2008, are not for children under 4. But the information usually is in small print and easy to miss. So I bring this up to you because this is the cough and cold and flu season, all those different types of things we like to say, right? Well, mainly cough and cold right now, but I know a few people that I've just heard through the grapevine are already getting the flu. Well, here's what we need to do. We need to boost our immune system. And if your child gets a cough or they get a cold, I can't recommend enough our Children Immune Protocol. We don't offer any of the Equilibrium Nutrition products. They're all products that we link to from other websites. So if you haven't heard that podcast I've done before, just go to stevencabral.com/podcast and type in Children's Immune or Children Immune Protocol, and you will be able to find that. You can always ask at cabralsupportgroup.com as well. This study came out of the Mott Children Hospital National Poll on Adult Children's Health at the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor. Really important to look at that because children under 4, just because it says for children, does not mean children under 4. And I would even say, and especially under 30 pounds weight-wise. But you can use all natural medicines that do not include the acetaminophen, or they don't include the pseudoephedrine, or they don't include the ibuprofen, those types of things. So just wanted to bring that to you. I think it's really important that we pass this along to our loved ones as well, just to make sure that they know. And they also know that there's much healthier options as well. Okay, so let's go over one more piece of research before we get to our super nutrient of the week. And that last piece is this. This is something I've spoken about before on the podcast. And I believe that cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, can be quite effective in conjunction with a diet protocol, an exercise protocol, and a nutritional supplement protocol. So I am not one of those practitioners that says, oh, it's just this or just that. I believe in an integrative form of medicine to help all people. I teach the integrative health practitioner certification, which says don't turn your back on any form of healing that is being shown to get people results. Now, do I recommend cognitive behavioral therapy to everyone? No. But there are some people with childhood trauma and deep-seated emotional, we'll call it trauma, that they would be best also talking and speaking with a therapist. So they can use, again, you want to give your body the B vitamins, the zinc, the vitamin C, the B6, especially the P5P, right? The paradoxal 5-phosphate, to help with the nervous system, to help with make those neurotransmitters, fix the gut, clean up the gut, get rid of the SIBO, get rid of the candida, so you can manufacture a lot of those B vitamins as well. Improve your digestive strength so you can start to absorb the magnesium and the zinc. Work on exercise, which works as great as the antidepressants themselves. But there's nothing wrong with seeing someone that may also specialize in cognitive behavioral therapy. So right here, this is from, let me just give you, it's from Michael Craig Miller, medical doctor, and assistant professor of psychiatry at Harvard Medical School, and the editor-in-chief of Harvard Mental Health Letter. So obviously, a little bit of credentials to that name. And here's what he wrote. Cognitive behavioral therapy is as effective as antidepressants for some people, and only about 1/3 of patients with depression respond to antidepressants. How cognitive behavioral therapy works is a therapist helps a patient identify destructive thoughts and understand why those thoughts are not rational. The patient and therapist then work to develop techniques to change unhealthy thinking. So I've spoken about this before. I like cognitive behavioral therapy. I studied it quite a bit myself in my earlier 20s when I was working on my own mind. I also like neuro-linguistic programming that works a little like cognitive behavioral therapy, but actually works on changing the image and the thought in the mind. So that it's kind of nice because they work from thought versus image, as well as I'm a big believer in overall self-improvement and reading about things such as the subconscious mind and what you program in your mind and what you focus on is typically what you're going to get more of. So I just wanted to put it out there that I don't think the mental health aspect of health is given its due. And I also think that there's a huge stigma around even admitting that you might want to speak with a therapist or someone that could help in that regard. So just know that the research is also out there that cognitive behavioral therapy can be quite effective and as effective as antidepressants for some people, knowing that antidepressants only work for 1/3 of the people who take them, and I believe still is not a great long-term solution for most. Okay, so that is our research piece for our Friday review. Now let's go over our super nutrient, and we only have 2 more to go. That's it. For 2018, we're going to close out our super nutrient of the week on our Fridays, and we'll replace it with something else that's new and fun. So N-acetylcysteine is our super nutrient of the week. Now, I glazed over it when I spoke about on the podcast how to complete a functional medicine detox. I spoke about why a functional medicine detox is necessarily, why it works so well, and I also spoke about it just in passing with our super nutrient of the week on, let's see if I can get you the exact date on that, but it was when I reviewed glutathione. That was August 10th of this year. So glutathione is that main or mother antioxidant, we call it, right? That's the one produced by the liver, and it helps you with phase 2 and phase 1 detoxification. But it really helps with free radical damage. Well, one of the ways that we make glutathione is with a product called cysteine, essentially a sulfur-based amino acid or a breakdown of these proteins of N-acetylcysteine of what the body then uses to make and manufacture its own glutathione. Because I actually use liposomal glutathione in my practice, and I use liposomal glutathione in my mold-based protocol, which gives the body exactly what it needs. But N-acetylcysteine is not just great for producing the glutathione. So one of the big things with N-acetylcysteine is, yes, it is an absolute all-star antioxidant, and it helps to squelch free radical damage. There's no doubt about that. But it does more than that. I've seen it work tremendously well with loosening and I would say thinning mucus-based secretions in the nose. So if you're someone that has a lot of allergies or they have thick mucus in the nasal passages, upper respiratory system, I'm a huge advocate of bromelain and N-acetylcysteine for loosening those. Now, we have it in our private practice. We're going to get this online one day, but it's called Sinus Support. I need to get this product to you because it's a great product that contains N-acetylcysteine and bromelain, as well as many, many other items such as thyme and turmeric and andrographis and berberine and licorice root that are great for sinus support. But we're not able to get everything online yet. That's one day we want to do that. But that doesn't mean I can't link up another brand for N-acetylcysteine, which is exactly what I'm going to do today. And I'm also going to give you, of course, the whole foods of where you would find N-acetylcysteine. So I try to give you the supplements that's going to help, as well as the whole food that you can be getting on a daily basis. So let's make sure we go over all of those now. So other items, other keys of where you're going to be getting or how N-acetylcysteine can benefit you is this. It helps with liver-based congestion or liver-based dis-ease or liver-based issues. Now, why would it work? Well, it's because it helps to remove a lot of these toxins and conjugate them and remove them from the liver. Now, the other thing it's been shown to help with through clinical studies is hepatitis B. So really great if you're dealing with hepatitis B-based issues, this might be something that helps you as well. Another thing that it's fantastic at is anything to do with the respiratory system. So I spoke a little bit about the sinuses, but what about the lungs? It's been shown to be very, very helpful with asthma and COPD. Another thing that it helps with is the gut. So it helps with gut-based detoxification and actually has been shown to pretty much be one of the great superpowers in removing biofilms in the gut as well. Another great thing, we were just talking about our research, right? With how we're preventing these colds and what happens, it's actually been proven, and you can just type into Google NAC and flu prevention. And you will see that NAC also helps with being an antioxidant, helping boost liver-based detoxification, helps prevent the cold flu. Okay. Both male and female fertility, NAC has been shown to be helpful for that as well. chronic health problems, especially those that deal with inflammation and inflammaging, meaning inflammation that leads to aging and free radical damage in the body. And that goes back to because it's such a great and powerful antioxidant. Another one, and I'd be remiss if I didn't leave out this last one, is that it has been shown to be quite successful in obsessive compulsive symptoms and also addictions to smoking, addictions to drugs, and addiction to alcohol. People that have used NAC at higher dosages have done well with mood-based, anxiety-based, OCD-based, and addictive-based issues that they're trying to overcome. So one of those ways that you're able to do that is with a higher dose of N-acetylcysteine. Now, it'd be great to work with a functional medicine practitioner, integrative health practitioner when going at a higher dose, but that is up to you. I'm going to give you what the research says, and you, as an adult, can make the decision based on your research if it's best for you. Okay, if you are looking to deal with liver issues, if you're looking to deal with mood-based issues or addictions or something to a far greater degree, infertility, sinus-based, the studies show 1,200 to 2,400 milligrams per day in 2 to 3 divided doses. I'm going to give you my recommendations of what I use in my practice besides just the research. And then for mental health, up to 3,000 milligrams a day for mental health. Now, that's quite a high dosage. In my practice, I use 3 divided doses a day with food or without food, depends on how it feels in your stomach so that it doesn't make you nauseous, because some people it makes you nauseous, okay? So you can do it with food if you would like. And I divide that into 500 milligrams 2 to 3 times per day. Okay, so for ongoing use, someone could do 500 milligrams per day. I don't recommend typically specialty supplements like this for everyday use for the rest of your life. That's not the type of practitioner I am, but I'm not against it. If you wanted to do that, you could. But what I do is at least maybe during a seasonal time, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, when you're dealing with sinus issues, you could do that. If you're dealing with immune issues, you could do that. If you're really trying to boost liver detoxification, you could do that. If you're dealing with COPD or some type of mood-based, you could certainly do that. So 500 milligrams 3 times a day is 1,500 milligrams. That's plenty to start. You may decide to go higher than that after 3 or 4 weeks, depending on the results you got. But again, that's up to you to work with your doctor or your practitioner with. I'm giving you what I do in my practice, and then I'm hoping that obviously you can get those same benefits from there. One thing that I do is I personally don't use that on a daily basis. I use my foundational supplements on a daily basis. But what I do is I will use the sinus support if I absolutely feel any congestion coming on. Other of our products contain N-acetylcysteine as well. Anything to do with immunity or congestion, we put that N-acetylcysteine in the Equilibrium Nutrition brand. But also, this is a big one, we put it in our Dr. Ball Detox. So the Detox, the 7, 14, 21 day, basically the 14 and 21 day is just 3 or 2 7-day detoxes. So in all of the detoxes that I personally do myself, I mean, I created this literally, when I first did this 3 years ago from making my own, because I've been using a functional medicine detox for, 8 years now, exactly. So what I did was this. I said, even if it's only 1,000, I should be able to use these just for my friends, my family, myself. And of course, it's caught on, and that's our flagship product there. But the reason is it works. So I do it every 12 weeks, just like they taught in Ayurvedic medicine and all the traditional ancient forms of medicine. Is every season you give your body a little bit of time to remove the toxins. It's not a cleanse. It's yes, you can call it cleansing, but you are actually giving your body the phase 1 and phase 2 nutrients that it needs in liver detoxification from taking the 77,000 man-made chemicals in the environment and helping your body know what to do with them, process them faster, and remove them from your body harmlessly in the form of bowel movements, or your urine, your sweat, and then huffing it off through exercise. So we put N-acetylcysteine in every single one of those Dr. Ball detoxes. And so that's when I take N-acetylcysteine, essentially every 12 weeks with a 7-day detox. Then if I need it, I'll take it with the specialty products as well. That's typically what I recommend for people is don't use all the specialty products unless you need them, right? They're supplements. They're there to supplement with to help you live the healthiest life possible. I'd love to answer any questions. If you do have any questions on this, you're welcome to write into us. You can head over to cabralsupportgroup.com and ask questions. And only caveat to the N-acetylcysteine I would say is just, again, check with your doctor, check with your practitioner if you're going to do high levels for a specific condition. And if you're on blood thinning medication, this may not be the product for you. Hopefully today's episode was helpful. If it was, always do feel free to pass along, share with anyone you believe it could help. And for all of today's show notes for the CBD Coffee, for the CBD Oil, for the EMF Summit, and for the N-acetylcysteine. I'm going to link all of those up today at stevencabral.com/1043. Have a great weekend, everyone, and stay tuned tomorrow for our first house call of the weekend. Before you go, I wanted to share a personal story with you. The real reason I began to get well finally is because I figured out what was wrong with me. And that might seem pretty obvious, but I went from doctor to doctor for over 2 years before discovering at-home functional medicine lab testing. These are the labs that enabled me to finally figure out what was wrong with my hormones, blood sugar, electrolytes, and gut health. And once I knew what was wrong, I could then follow a proven plan in order to rebalance my body from the inside out. This is why I believe so strongly in functional medicine lab testing and why I've made it my mission to share these labs with the world. Now at equa.life, you can order an at-home lab test or lab bundle for you and your family and be able to complete it within the week. Plus, the EquaLife difference is that you're not left to try to read and figure out these labs on your own. We explain what your lab numbers mean, what they mean in the much bigger picture, and then how to go about rebalancing your body in order to heal. To see our full selection of lab tests or to set up a free lab selection call to find out what labs may be best for you, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. And do remember, we ship these all over the world. To find out more and to set up your free lab selection call, simply head on over to equa.life/labs. That's EQUI.LIFE/labs.